welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, my predictions, what do I think's going to happen. Hey, we even talk about fashion on this show from time to time because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. This week, yet again, I just didn't get it. With the exception of one thing that happened that I clearly predicted. Maybe not in the way it happened, but I clearly predicted. Anyway, couple of disclaimers. If you don't want to know what's going on, you kind of want to get caught up on your own, this may not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And if I happen to not mention something in particular, it could be because I plumb forgot, or it really just wasn't newsworthy, so I didn't bother mentioning it. Is what it is, nature of the beast, that's what I like to call it. And if you do like this type of content, you like what you see or you like what you hear, it would be so great if you hit that like and subscribe button. And also don't forget the bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. Okay, so where should we begin? Okay, I have to condense this because there's so much stuff that happened, yet a lot of it just seemed like it was just passing the time. Like nothing was really concrete except one, maybe two things. And quite frankly, they were both predictions of mine that came to pass. Okay? All right. So, first one on the docket, we're going to talk about Tessa and Daniel. Was this a surprise to you? Like, it wasn't to me, but I liked it. Okay. So, beginning of the week, Tessa, not Dessa, maybe that's their new nickname, Dessa. So Tessa and Daniel, they arrive at the club, only to realize that both bachelor and bachelorette parties, they have ceased. So it was like, oh no, like, what's going on? Nobody's here. We missed it. Yes, you missed it, but that's not important. The thing is that they decided to hang out with one another, have a little drinky drink. Well, one thing kind of led to Tessa having a little too many drinky drinks, although her drink looked very, very pretty. And she's like, I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm thinking, wait a minute. You're going upstairs? Yeah, she did say that basically, I think baby Aria, who's probably not a baby anymore, with the sitter, and she's okay with that. I think that was said. I don't know. Again, a lot of what happened, out my brain. But in any respect, she was going to go upstairs to some phantom room and, chill out, kind of recuperate, the whole 9 yards. Because again, she is reeling over Mariah, and this whole Mariah's in a fog and she's not talking, and Mariah basically is pushing her away, and she just like, she wants this to be over with. And anyway, so when she decides that she's getting up from the table, my girl starts stumbling. She's like, oh. And Daniel's like, whoa, like, woohoo, you okay? She's like, no, I'm fine. Anyway, fast forward to them getting ready to go up the stairs because he's now going to escort her up to her room. Well, at the bottom of the stairs, like everything that happens, conversations, kissy poo, well, it ends up being kissy poo. And boy, did Tessa plant one on Daniel, something fierce. And he returned that favor. And I'm like, you see, now This is a couple I could deal with. I like their chemistry together. You know, strumming on the guitar and the whole 9 yards. I love it all. Like, they just seem like they would be like a cool couple. And maybe it's because Daniel has that rock star mentality because of Danny. Rock on. And maybe it's because Tessa has that, albeit pseudo rock star mentality to herself, although she does probably a little more like on the folk, side of things. But she still has that funky sort of rock kind of flair to her. And I think those two are actually a really good pairing, meeting of the minds, if you will. So, yes, the two of them were kissy face on the stairs leading up to Tessa's bedroom at the club. And then, like school kids, like, oh my gosh, should I have done that? Should I have done that? Was that, too much? Like, then she says she thought about kissing him. He says, you know what? I thought about kissing you. Well, there you have it. That's what happened. And I was ever so happy that the two of them finally, that little tension that was between the two of them, and especially Daniel, where he was always looking a little glossy eyed when it comes to Tessa. Finally, he gave in. And I'm not an advocate of, cheating. However, I just like their pairing. So, if they can be together, if Mariah and Tessa don't make it, then I'm okay with that. That will receive my stamp of approval between the two of them. Would it last? I would hope so. But who knows? Yeah, so fast forward with Tessa and Daniel. I get, see, now this is the part where I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows this because Tessa ended up having a dream, a nightmare, if you will, that her and Daniel were on the bed at the club and they were having they were hot and heavy doing their business in the bedroom. And then brap, brap, brap on the door was some sort of police officer stating that they were there to find Mariah and, issue a warrant for her arrest for the murder of whomever. So just then, Tessa had woken up from her, albeit dream slash nightmare, um, and she was like in this fog. Now, here's my thing. If you looked at the bedroom and the bed, it was super duper messy. I mean, pillows were on the floor, the duvet was spread all over the place. Wait a minute. What's going on? But then on the other side of the coin, there's Daniel. He was at the coffee house during the week. This was at the end of the week, if you will. And his hair was a hot mess. And he was wearing sunglasses. He looked like he had been, I don't know, hungover or something. Like, tired. Phyllis had walked in and seen him and was like, what's going on here? Well, she kind of figured out that something had to do with Tessa, but whatever. So, my question is, did Daniel and Tessa do the deed? I don't know. I mean, based on what I saw with the duvet and the pillows, it would appear so, but I don't know. Maybe she just is a restless sleeper. I have no idea, but that was weird to me. So I don't know. If you know, chime in, put in the comments. Okay. So yes, Daniel, maybe he was hungover as well. I don't know. And then eventually after he was I guess he was called out by his mother and questioned, and even Danny got in the mix there, which, by the way, side note, thank goodness they cut Danny's hair. it looks worlds better. He looks way more polished. Other than that messy, almost, he had almost like just a wispy do. I don't know. No, it was not good. But now it's cut down, it's shaved down, it's a much sleeker. So thankfully that occurred, and thank you, the hair team, for doing that for Danny. So yes, Daniel was questioned by both Phyllis and Danny, and he's not really talking. Although Phyllis kind of put two and two together. She and was like, "Oh, this has got to do with Tessa, and hey, Danny, our son is trying to be with someone who is a married woman, and he's not he's not hers to have." Yeah, and anyway, Daniel ended up back with Tessa, and they were talking something about hash browns, and I don't know. Like, did you order the hash browns? And I guess they're kind of trying to navigate their friendship, if you will, and that's fine. They're trying to navigate that, but they also know that there is this, albeit, you know, loving, lusting type tension between the two of them, and I guess they don't really know how best to handle that. Yeah, I mean, he's constantly going on about, yeah, at this point, that he's got the hots for her, and she's basically saying, I got the hots for you, but I'm gonna still work on my relationship with Mariah. Segue. Good luck with that, Tessa, because Mariah, she is far off the beaten path at this point. And why, do you ask? Well, so we saw Mariah at her facility, is it in Boston? And she picks up the cards, which, by the way, the cards that were previously strewn across the table where Mariah was when Tessa was there, those were gone. Only the one cut up, ripped up Queen of Hearts was on the ground. Where did they all go? So she picks it up and she's like, and then she kind of like puts her hands up here, only to, she ends up hearing the voice of none other than Ian Ward. Didn't I say? Didn't I say? I said this. Like, again, anybody who's been following, they know that Ian did not die. He didn't die. I wish his character was off the show, but yeah. So anyway, he's there back with his priest outfit on, and he's speaking to Mariah. Mariah, again, day late, dollar short. She is in some sort of like fog in her brain, going on about, you're not real, Ian, like, you're not real. But then she speaks to him as though he is real. Well, he's real. He's there. He's not the boogeyman here. He's there. And she's having this back and forth conversation with this lunatic, if you will. And he's just preying on this and talking about how she's just as evil as he is, and it's in her like her DNA, it's in her blood. And she ends up confessing to this dude about how she almost killed a man. And what are you telling him all that information for? What? You're gonna now be the Bonnie to his Clyde. What is going on? I didn't get it. So yeah, Mariah, I don't know what to tell you. You may end up back under some sort of spell, back in the little, what was it that he had? Who knows? Anyway, at some point in time before all of this Ian showing, you saw Mariah call Sharon. Oh, Sharon. She's not fit for anyone right now. She has lost it just as much as Mariah has. Oh my gosh, she's just on probably a different wavelength. She's just a bundle of tears. I get it. But whoa, take it down. So now Mariah calls Sharon, and Sharon is there with Noah in LA, and she's losing it because Mariah's like, Mom, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. So she's like, Mom, can you come? Now Sharon's quite the conundrum. What do I do? She's like, I can't. I'm here with your brother Noah. Oh my God, like I can't. She's like, Mom. Well, Mariah, you're gonna have to put on your big girl pants and just, kind of get through this the best way you know how. Talk to the counselor. I hope he has not been your counselor, and then you. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Was he the counselor all this time? Oh no, I just thought of that. Oh no. Oh, this is not good. So now, back in LA, Sharon is like, Nicholas, Mariah just called me and I don't know what to do. I can't. This is Sharon. That's her been the whole week. The whole week. Except for like maybe one fleeting moment when, oh boy, I tell you, it's a bunch of like sighs throughout this whole week. Like, oh, not again. Oh, Claire. Probably when Claire went to visit Noah, which that was kind of like a little bit funny when it comes to her finding out that Noah was in the hospital because he sauntered in at the hotel. Go figure. Of all the hotels in LA, he's staying the one at Claire's at. I don't. Oh, okay, so he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm here or whatever. And she's like, oh, what? You're here? He's like, well, geez, kind of not the what I expected, but whatever. So she's like, oh no, I didn't mean that way. And she's like, what are you here for? He's like, oh, it's your cousin Noah. Oh yeah, he's here. Oh geez, I'd like to see him. I've never met him before. That would be great. Tell him we can hang out, whatever. He's like, well, no can do. He's in the hospital. I'm like, oh boy. Yeah, he's in the hospital, basically fighting for his life. He was in a bad car accident. Pew! Into a ravine, and yeah. She's like, oh my gosh, I'd love to go see him. You can't see him. He's bundled up like a mummy. That won't work. But of course, you don't know that until you get there. And my thing was, how was she so distraught over Noah? And I mean, I get it. He was in an accident and he's your cousin, but you've never met this guy before. You haven't even talked to this guy on the phone, and you're at the hospital. Oh. Claire, come on now. And who takes her to the hospital? Holden. I am so over those two. Again, let her get in trouble with crazy Holden, who is trying to appear like he's on the up and up. But I don't believe this. And maybe he may be on the up and up now, but he's trying to hide the sins of his past. I don't know. But let her get in her little funky trouble with him and like let them go. Totally unnecessary on the show. Victoria, you have your daughter, just like you have Reed, who I forget about half the time, and you don't see him. You don't see Johnny and Katie anymore. They came on the show for a hot second again, and they are gone in like toot sweet. So yeah, just let her go. Let her stay in LA, and let's all, because it's like now everybody's in LA kind of thing. Like, enough. Okay, so yeah, that was probably like one of the only times. And when Sharon was reading, oh my gosh, what was that book? Some book. Anybody who remembers, put it in the chat. Whatever book that was, it Tom Sawyer or something that Noah really likes, and she was reading like a passage from it. Oh, okay. So she seemed normal then and not erratic. Okay. So as you know, there was new character number 1, Sienna Bacall. Didn't she get a lot of airtime this week? So yeah, Sienna, at this point, I'm just gonna say she knows a lot about these people, but she ain't talking. And I think new character number 3, who hasn't entered the show yet, I think it's the husband that they're mentioning. Just saying. Yeah, so Sienna, she clearly knows Holden's the sins of his past. She knows. And she knows something concerning Noah, for sure. But what that is, we don't know. And again, she's not talking. She had Nick on her heels. She had Kyle on her heels because Kyle wants to get dirt on Audra. Again, Kyle, when are you gonna learn to just let Claire be? She missed 20,000 questions? She's there grilling Holden about, how do you know Sienna? When did you move Sienna? Da 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 da, Sienna. And if you don't tell me like what happened with you and Audra, I'm gonna go to Sienna myself. You couldn't leave well enough alone? Come on, just stop it. Claire, enough. Again, I'm not a Holden fan. I'm definitely not a you fan at this point. And I don't know if I ever was. But you're acting all self-righteous like Lily, and enough. So yeah, only time will tell what, sordid tales Sienna knows about these people, and if there's any sort of connection between her, Noah, and this accident. All right, we saw Cain, which that's a whole set of mess yet again. Why are we not over Cain? We had like how many months of this dude, and now like he is like the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps going and going and going, and seems like there's no end in sight. So again, it's all about this AI program, which Phyllis has now stolen. Are we surprised? I'm not surprised. She's like a super hacker. All we need is Kevin to come back in the show, and he can hack too. So she done hacked this program, and she has it in her possession. And of course, as soon as she got it, bam, 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 on the door is Cain, and he's like, basically, what did you do? Like, what's going on? She's like, what? Pardon? What are you talking about? So then he's like, my AI program is stolen, and I wonder who took it. She's like, what? Do you have any idea who could have done this? He's like, one. What? Who? You. You're accusing me? Yeah. Okay, Phyllis. Spoiler alert. Phyllis is going to basically bring. Hey, Victor, we need to meet. I got something for you. And it's got to do with this AI program. Basically, she's going to want Victor to cut her a deal because Phyllis is on this warpath for greatness. It's going to probably backfire on Phyllis. I wish it didn't, in the respect of, again, she's my girl, but wrong is wrong. This was not a good move, Phyllis. You will probably end up in prison at some point in time due to this, so might as well get your little orange number jumpsuit and, pick yourself, because this is not, it's not going to work out for you, no. And Victor, as much as he wants it, would he cut a deal with you? Maybe. But trust me, he will figure out a way to make sure that he's done you in too at the same token. So either way, you're not going to win. Anyway, Kane is sitting back. At the same time, he is trying to, make amends with Devon, who him and Abby were on the show for that length of time this week. And he's there talking to Lily again. And, those two just, again, my prediction is they're going to get back together at some point in time. And I hope that gets on underway sooner than later. I'm just saying, because this can we talk? Can we talk? Can we talk? Is too much. And it's always about the twins. The twins, who are grown. They know what they like from what they don't like. They know what they're going to put up with from what they're not going to put up with. Lily, you don't have to sit back and be like, patting them on the back or, like, stop that. They're going to tell you, bugger off. They already know that they are upset at their father, but you don't need to sit back and coddle them because it's unnecessary. I'm just putting it out there, just saying, in my opinion. Will they despise you? No, but, just let things, let things be. So what else did we see? We did see Adam and Chelsea, but once again, kind of not important between them two. We did see Sally and Billy. Oh, they are exhausting. Sally, again, I don't know why you told Billy about Jill wanting to invest. She already, like, as I said, if you want to keep something a secret at this rate, don't tell Sally, because she's gonna sing like a bird. So yes, there's that whole thing where Billy wants to confront Jill about this, and Sally is trying to, no, you're gonna hurt things. Then throw Audra into the mix. It's this whole thing about they don't really know if she's gonna be allowed to be a part of the company now that Jill is gonna back the company. And quite frankly, I don't think Billy would want Audra there anyway. And although Sally is fighting for her, this, yeah. At this point, can we at the very, very least get Abbott Communications off the ground? This thing has been like in some sort of tailspin that's not going anywhere. It's just a bunch of, So yeah, Audra is she's probably going to end up, I don't know, pounding the pavement again. I have no idea, but we shall see. So yeah, I think that was pretty much about it for the week. We didn't see anything with Michael and Lauren. Nikki popped in here and there only because Nicholas was trying to, talk to her about this whole Sienna Bacall, and she really didn't serve too much of a purpose. Yeah, it was pretty much all about Mariah and Tessa and Daniel. That was pretty much this whole week. Mariah, again, I wish you well when it comes to this maniac, Ian Ward. It's, yeah, you'll probably end up back in the clutches of him just because you're not thinking straight. And Tessa, who's sitting back saying she basically doesn't know how much longer she's going to be married for, yet she wants to work on her relationship. That's very confusing. So Tessa, again, not an advocate of cheating, but those two, Tessa and Daniel, I'm okay with their relationship if it does blossom into a true romantic relationship. Yeah. So there you have it, folks. That was pretty much the week. Again, if I happen to not mention something in particular, it could be because I plumb forgot, as I said. And yeah, let's see what this week holds. Spoiler alert, apparently Adam's gonna get his lights knocked out by Billy. I was like, oh boy, wonder if teeth starts flying. And yes, Phyllis is going to propose whatever deal with Victor. So yeah, that should be an interesting week. Maybe. Let's hope. All right, guys. Again, if you stuck around to the end of this video, you know, I appreciate your time. I love you lots. And I don't know what's going to happen this week outside of the small, small spoilers. All right, guys, you take care. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And also share, share, share. Why? Because sharing is caring. At least I like to think so. Okay, you take care, guys. Bye.